Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday arcade people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker here, and we have got a video today, and it is a shout-out video from Cerdric and Ada Gear Channel down in Australia. Pete, he actually sent a tag out to some YouTubers out there, and I wasn't one of them, but that's okay. I like watching his content, and it just gave me a great idea, and I thought that I would, maybe jump in on this tag and tag some fellas myself. And the tag is 5 knives that make you happy. And I'm going to, throw these knives out there, and you guys can have a look at them. Hopefully you find it interesting. And then I will quickly do some tags, some shout-outs. I would like to shout out Patty's Potato Peelers from across the shuck there. Hell of a guy. I interviewed him. Wonderful, wonderful fella. Don't forget to check out his channel. We've got Canadian Cutting Edge Jake up here, just a little bit north of me here in Lethbridge, Alberta. I'm in Lethbridge. He's a little bit north. And you know what? You cannot meet a nicer fella. Extremely helpful. He sent me some stuff. He has hooked me up with some shipping that's fantastic. He's given me some advice, and I gotta say, Jake, you are a prince among men, and please go look at his channel. We've also got another Canadian, Kevin Cleary, too, as well. Don't forget to him. I watched a lot of his videos early on when I was getting the knife bug, and he definitely fanned those flames. Excuse me. I apologize for that. And then we've got Metal Complex too as well. He's one of the big YouTubers out there. I really enjoy watching his channel. And then we've got another fellow by the name of Neeves Knives. I've checked him out. I was told to check him out by Jake actually at Canadian Cutting Edge, and he's got some wonderful content. So those are the 5 guys I want to tag on this. 5 knives that make you happy. Patty's Potato Peelers, Canadian Cutting Edge, Kevin Cleary, Metal Complex, and Neeves Knives. All right. Now that I can go through this stuff, let's have a look. Now, these are the 5 knives. And now, there are some knives here that that make me happy, but just, you know what, they're not stuff that I carry all the time. There's a knife that my daughter got me that's got engraved. She brought me back a knife from Mexico that's basically a volcanic glass knife. My boy has given me some custom knives. I had some friends, Sheila, they gave me a knife. Those are knives that are sentimental, and they make me smile for totally different reasons. These knives are kind of the ones that I everyday carry here, and they make me smile for other reasons, and let's go through those. Now, the first one I want to talk about is this bugger right here. This here is the Hinderer Eclipse, and I gotta say that I was blown away by this knife. I mean, I just... this is an extremely expensive knife, and since I've not been working, I've had a hard time trying to get a hold of some really kind of expensive knives. And this one I happened to find in a pre-owned, new in box, and it was a price that I could afford. I sold a few other knives to get it, and I'm certainly happy that I did. I gotta say that Rick Hinder, oh my goodness, he makes some wonderful blades, and this makes me smile because it's just so damn nice. I mean, it's got fantastic steel in it. The flipping action is bar none. It's handy as hell. It's got great thick blade stock. I'm a big guy. I love the look of it. And it's just a knife that every time I sit and watch TV and I flick and I realize what's in my pocket, how lucky and blessed I am, it makes me smile huge amount. And I gotta say, this Hinder Eclipse with the Spanto blade, if you're on the fence about getting a Hinder, don't. Incredible knife. So there's number 1. All right, well, and these are in no particular order. They just happen to be what's on my desk. Now, the next one here is this bugger here. This happens to be a Spyderco that is... I am completely... Oh my goodness, I blanked on the name for a second there. This is a Spyderco Shaman. Holy cow. Alzheimer's has taken a hold early. Well, I guess the only blessing about that is I can hide my own Easter eggs. But oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot about the Shaman. Now this Shaman, when I first held this in my knife, it's like in my hand, it's like a gong rang. It's like boom. It's like, oh, you need to have this in your pocket, mister. You need to put this in your hand, and you need to cut lots of things with it. And I had to have one. The ergonomics on here are absolutely fantastic. It is a huge, big, beefy blade. When you put it in your hand, you're like, oh, this knife here is designed to fit in your hand, and it does a wonderful job. I love the compression lock on it. It's a Spyderco, so I love, the fact that you can, flick it. All of my happy knives, I have to flick over and over again, and this is definitely one of them. The Spyderco guys, they did a wonderful job on this. I have to say, Mr. Glasser, you designed a knife, I think a Hall of Fame knife for all ages. I absolutely love this knife, and the very first time I put it in my hand, it basically, I had a shit-eating grin is what some people would call it. The top of my head was going to fall off. I was smiling so much when I put this in my hand, and thank you so much. Now, another one here is, this is one I just got recently, and I was really blown away by how much I really, really like this knife. Now, this here happens to be a DLT special edition Tough, designed by Ed Shemp. And when I first got into the knives and I first saw this, the original Tough, it was definitely a grail knife. It was a knife that I swore to myself, one of these days, I had 10 knives I had put down on a list, and this was, I think, number 4 that I had to own. And so when this came up, I pulled the trigger, and and I had to sell a whole bunch of things just to afford this, and it was worth it. I can't get over how much I really, really enjoy carrying this knife around. Not just the fact that it's expensive, and I thought, well, damn it, it's expensive, I'm going to carry it whether I like it or not. That wasn't the case. Because there's lots of times when I think about knives, I don't put them in my hands, I order them, they come in, I put them in my hands, and I'm like, I'm a little bit disappointed. Maybe the build-up in my mind was more than what was actually there, but this wasn't the case. I had a big ass smell as soon as I put this in my hand. Another one that's great ergonomics. It's got such a wicked beefy 4mm blade in it with that groove here, and this is not a DLC coating. This is a carbonitride, I do believe it's called titanium carbonitride coating. And I gotta say, Spyderco, keep on going with these coatings. You can see this is the difference between the DLC and the other coating. And this one here, you can actually see the grind lines behind. And they say that this one is even tougher than the DLC coating. The DLC coating just feels a little bit ashy. This one here, extremely smooth. And I absolutely love the ergonomics. I love the beefiness. The only thing I didn't like about it off the bat is I didn't like the color. So I ended up going and get some Rit dye. I dyed it this red color, this burgundy wine color. And then that was it. Boom, it just lit it up for me. I just wish that I had maybe been able to get this a little redder, as more of a kind of a homage to a Deadpool edition. But still, absolutely love this knife. It is a wicked, wicked blade. And if they are still available and you're sitting on the fence, pull the trigger, because this Crewware is extremely tough. It's a beefy, beefy knife that fits well in your hand, and it cuts like a banshee too as well. All right, now the next one that comes about is this Cold Steel 8015, designed by Andrew Demko, who I have to say is one hell of a nice guy. Now, I was really, really curious about this knife. I ended up getting some Cold Steels, and I didn't realize how much I actually liked Cold Steel. Now, I'm a Canadian guy here up north, and we're used to saying, sorry, and don't look at us, and we're not, flashy. We're very kind of humble, kind of a humble country. And I looked at Cold Steel, and, they were out there chopping pigs in halves with their knives. And they were, hey, look at me, we're the best. And it just kind of turned me off a little bit. I was just like, well, if you're good, you don't need to say it. And then I ended up trying a Cold Steel because I wanted to get one. And I was blown away by the Triad lock. And then I got into a little bit more, and I thought, actually, you know what? Value for the money, Cold Steel knives are tremendous. And this one here is so identical to the Andrew Demko custom knife that I can see why people are a little bit pissed off. I mean, you've got this here, which is aluminum in the Cold Steel version, where his version is titanium. He's got maybe 20 CV steel on his, and this here happens to be, what's this? I think this is S35 VN, which is still fantastic steel in its own right. And I did not realize how damn flicky this knife was. And I gotta say, when I put this in my hand and I feel the beefitude of it, it makes me smile. And when I cut something with it, I put a KME edge on here that's mirror polished, and This is an absolute cutting demon, and I love this lock. And I can hardly wait to get an Andrew Demko, a Demko Knives 80/20 with a shark lock on it. Oh, I would love to have one of those in my hand. I heard that lock is just so fidgety. This here is, I do believe this is close to my most fidgety knife, and I was not expecting it to be. My smock right now, which we'll kind of go into, is my most fidgety knife, but this here, it's close between the smock and this one. They're fantastic, and I can see that this knife here being almost maybe a knife that I would take to a desert island, or a knife that I would go to war with. It's that good. And I have to say also, if you don't know, I actually interviewed Andrew Demko. Hell of a nice guy. It's in my videos there. So if you want to have if you want to hear me have a chat with Mr. Demko, by all means go and check that video too. But it's wonderful, and they just make me smile. I mean, these are just wonderful knives. Now, I've got another knife here, and it's kind of a it's got a little bit of a cheat. It's kind of two little knives, but it's this right here. This here was a gift from a subscriber, and he is from the United States. His name is Patrick Anderson, and I have to say that I was absolutely blown away by this man's generosity. He just sent me an email one day, and he said, "Look, I'm really into knives. I got lots of extra flex blades. I love your channel. I love what you do, and I've got this laying around. How about I send it up to you? You can review it, and then you can use it, and it's yours." And I was absolutely stunned by this man's generosity, and this knife. Every time that I go out camping and I put this on my belt and I cut something with it, I have such a huge a smile on this, and it's just overwhelming how this man's generosity. And not only that, it is such a beautiful set of blades. We've got an SE6 here, and it is unbelievable with these micarta handles, this orange inlay, this 1095 steel that is just thick, and it's beautifully sharpened. And then you've got this little Azula 2 here, which is another a fantastic knife in its own right, because sometimes you got some delicate things to do and you don't want to use your big heavy blade. You just want to have something that's smaller, and some camp tasks or something like that where you're not going to need the big blade, and you can pull out this little one here. And not only that, the fact that it also came in this beautiful rig here too as well. There is a fire starter that comes with it that's in my drawer here. It just keeps kind of falling out, so I just put it aside here for now until I get this a little bit shrunk in. I'm going to actually get a little lanyard, and I'm going to put it on here where it can actually lock into place, or I'm not going to lose it, because I definitely don't want to lose anything here, because this is wonderful, and this is extremely precious to me too as well. And I got to say thank you so much. And we had a little bit of a joke, Mr. Anderson, from I used to tease him, and from the Matrix movies, but I gotta say this is unbelievable and unbelievably generous, and this is one of the knives here that make me smile. All right, so let's kind of maybe put this aside here, close these up, because I had a really, really tough time with these knives, and it just seems like after I ended up making my final list, I really, really thought to myself, it's big ass knives that make me smile. I like big ass knives, but I don't always carry anything, always 4-inch blades or 5-inch folding blades or anything like that. I mostly kind of carry these 3.5-inch, but these are all big heavy duty blades, and they make me smile. But there was a few ones that were runners up, and they were so close to being on the list here. And one of them here is, I just want to throw this in there, the smock. It is so fidgety. It makes me smile for a different reason. It makes me smile because it lets my OCD and my flickiness, my fidgetiness, relax for a little while when I'm flicking this knife. So I really, really like that. That was one of them. And the other one here was this here, which is the Para 3, that it's in Maximate. And I finally did a little bit of a patina on it, just a little mustard patina. And because it was getting some patina on it and I was having a hard time getting it off, and I just said, F it, let's just put a mustard patina on there. And that's what I did. And this one makes me smile because I didn't realize how much I really enjoyed this Para 3. I had the Paramilitary 2 for a long time, and it was okay, you know, it was fantastic when I got it, but it just seemed like it was a little bit long in the tooth for me. I didn't think I would like the Para 3 as much as I did, but when I got it, it made me smile, and it was really in my pocket for a long time, and it's one of my go-tos right now. And the other one here that's not here is actually a ZT-0560 that I ended up purchasing off a fella from Ontario, who is a hell of a guy too as well. We text back and forth all the time. And he's an absolutely fantastic knife guy, and you check him out under Instagram at Grease Monkey _EDC. And I actually have the ZT out of my camper right now. I actually forgot it out there because I took it out there for the weekend, and it's a ZT-0560, and that makes me smile. It's a nice big heavy duty knife, but it is so smooth with the drop shut. And it drops shut so nice. I definitely want to own some more ZT products. I just seen them, and it really made me want to get some more ZT products. I was a little bit maybe down on ZTs because they were so expensive, even more expensive than Spydercos. And I thought, well, is it worth the money? But when I got one in my hand, I was like, oh my goodness, what a quality knife. Because I was thinking, it's just kind of an overblown Kershaw, but it's not. You know what? Jonathan is the fella's name. He said, you'll like it. He was pretty confident. He just said, I'm going to send this to your knife. You can review it. It's probably not going to be coming back. And damn it, he was right. And I have to say thank you so much to him. And thank you so much to the rest of you guys out there too as well. I appreciate your guys' patronage so much. Clicking on my videos, leaving your own thoughts and stuff behind. I appreciate it so much. And I hope you guys like this one, and I hope you guys will also give me the subscription and thumbs up if you think I've earned it. I appreciate it so much. Now, we're getting close to 1,000, and once we do hit 1,000, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a giveaway. I don't have the blade that I'm going to give away yet. It has not arrived, but when it gets here, I'll start shouting that out. So please, subscribe, and when we hit 1,000, we're going to be giving a blade away. All right. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, give the thumbs up, and please stay safe out there because we are not out of the woods yet. There's still lots going on. We've got another wave. So please stay safe. Keep your shiny side up. This stick on the ice. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.